Hi guys, and thank you for coming back to my YouTube channel. I really want to get back into the swing of making a video every week for you guys. I was doing a really good job of that at the end of last year, and then Christmas happened and it was all like craziness. But yesterday on Instagram I asked for you to give me 10 questions, just random, to answer here on my YouTube channel for you, and we wrote some of them down in my planner that I am obsessed with, and yeah, I just thought I would just share some random things that you guys have maybe wondered about, and I really want to do another video where I kind of answer random things on me that I thought you guys might find interesting, but I decided to kick off 10 Q&A questions, so here we go. First question is, if you had to pick a year from the past to live, what would it be? This is always a really tough question because I always want to say now, because with politics and everything for women, I would much prefer to live now than in you know, another era. But the 60s were fabulous, you know, style-wise, and I really love everything from the 60s. So I would probably say the 60s. I do appreciate like the 50s and the 70s were super funky, not the 80s. That is not my jam. I think I have like a weird stigma because my hair can look super 80s, so that is not my time. But I think the 60s for sure. How did Danny and I meet? I really want to convince Danny to do a video with me so we can tell you guys a little bit more about our relationship, but the chances of that happening are probably pretty low. Danny's very video shy, and oh, that's my phone, sorry. And the time that we do get, you know, to spend together, I feel like getting him to take a video would be really hard. But we met, so it was like 5 years ago, almost, you know, in like 2 or 3 weeks from now. I was working at a store in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, and Danny came in. I'm gonna tell the condensed version of this story, and then hopefully, actually I have a blog post that I'll link below that tells like the long version. But he came in, and long story short, I was definitely flirting with him, but in the way that like my salesman-ness was. And I don't know, I feel like I kind of started realizing like, oh, this guy's really cute, and he kind of seems like I'm making him really nervous, so maybe he kind of likes me too. And then I started getting all flustered and like, but then I was like, I'm gonna need a roommate, like blah blah blah, because he had just moved there a week or two before. So like, how's my eye? Oh. So I wrote down I take a piece of paper, I write down my number, and I gave it to him, and I was like, yeah, text me, like let me know if you want to come see the place, like check it out, blah blah blah. And of course after I gave it to him, I'm like, what the F am I doing? And I really want him, you know, I want him to text me to like hang out, but I didn't think he would, because I like totally ruined it by, you know, it was one of those things where I felt like I was being cool, and then I realized that with all the context it could seem really bad, and like I just want to be friends. So he called his friend afterwards, and long story short, he did text me only like 2 hours later, which I thought was good. I hate guys that play games. Even though we definitely did play games in the beginning. But he texted me to get a drink, and we didn't end up meeting that night because of games. So there actually were a lot of games. That's a whole entire video in itself. Dating's really hard. Even if you are perfect for each other, it's very hard. Third question, if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go? This is a really hard question. So I am going to Finland next week, and that is one that I probably would say is like, you know, I've really wanted to go somewhere international that's snowy and beautiful, and I'm gonna get to see the Northern Lights, which blows my absolute mind. And I am just so unbelievably excited about that. I really want to go to, I don't know, just like somewhere in the Mediterranean. I haven't really done that. I want to go, I don't know where this is, but it's the island where all the pigs are. I really want to go there, and the ones that like swim in all the water. I think it might be in Cuba. but my friend Modi has gone several times, I think, because he posts pictures a lot, and I really want to go. Yeah, I'm the kind of person where I kind of don't really select destinations myself so much. It's like a friend wants to go, or a brand reaches out, and I just like pack my bags and join along, because I think so many parts of the world are so amazing and beautiful, and I just want to see them all, but I feel like I have a hard time picking. But yeah, I'm trying to think of one more to add in there for you guys. Morocco, because I love the food. It would be Morocco for sure. 4, when did you realize blogging was something you wanted to do for a living? Good question, because to be honest with you, when I was in high school, that was something that I would, you know, and I just turned 26, so that was, you know, 10 years ago when blogging was obviously not really a thing. There were some people doing it as like a fun little hobby. And I at school would get on the computer and check, literally I had a computer class I think for my junior and senior year for first period. So I would literally get on the computer and just read a bunch of blogs that I followed. There was like, it's like 5 OG people. And even at that time I really wanted to blog full time, but I didn't even have a blog, so that was not possible. And no one really, you know, had blogging as a full-time job at that point. So I feel like it was really, you know, it was something that I always had a desire, but I was like this, it was like a dream job that you didn't think you would ever get the chance to do, and that it was a reality, and it, like, at the time wasn't a reality for so many people. And the older I got, it kind of started becoming so, and then I created my blog, and, you know, originally was just doing it for, you know, the every once in a while free piece of clothing, and because I love sharing my life with everyone and inspiring people. But, you know, I feel like forever. Long story short, forever. When I was bored. Number 5, how do you pick your outfits? Do you choose them on your own, or do you find some inspiration from other blogs / magazines / shops, etc.? Very, oh, little Dookie. He doesn't want to come over here. Very good question. I do pick out my outfits, and sometimes I am, like, I'll save a photo and I will be inspired, and I, you know, occasionally, now that it's so easy to save photos on Instagram, I've never really been a big Pinterest girl. I don't know why. I use the platform and I like it, but I think that I've always just screenshotted stuff, which is like so old school. But that's always what I've done, and I literally just, sometimes I'll save outfits and I will think, there's a little bug flying around. I will save them and kind of try to recreate them. I don't like to copy things directly, because I think that's, you know, that's just losing your own creativity there by not creating something yourself. But I typically will just gravitate towards something, and then I'll remember, yeah, there he is again, and I'll remember something that I wore, and or something that I saw, like, for example, I don't know, like, this dress would look really cute with like a sash, like, bow tied around it, and things like that, that I obviously did not invent. I saw for the first time somewhere else, but then I take it into my own accord. But I think that magazines for forever have always been a huge source of inspiration, and now Instagram and blogs are a big part of it, and even just online shopping and seeing how the stylist for the shoot styled it is always like a really fun way to see that. 6, what are your tips for maintaining good self-confidence and a positive attitude about body image? I want you guys to know one of my biggest insecurities, on top of saying things wrong and spelling things wrong, insecurities, is I very much have like some chinage. Like, I have like a very round, you know, double chin, pockety, you know, face here. And anytime I take videos, it's something I feel self-conscious about, but it's me. It is what it is. You take it or you leave it, and I'd rather make videos and show it to the entire, you know, I was gonna say world, but whoever is watching these, or, and you know, not let it hold me back, I guess. For so much of my life, you know, even just down to like swimsuits, I wouldn't want to go to the beach, or I wouldn't want to get in the pool because I felt like, you know, too heavy, or not like what people wanted to look at whenever they were swimming, and like things like that, which is absurd. And I just kind of got to this point where I was sick of like the memories that I didn't have, or the things I felt like I lost out on by not just embracing myself and embracing life and not giving a damn about what people think in that regard. And obviously there are days where I get down on myself, and I do, you know, one time I was doing a photo shoot in swimsuits, and there was definitely a guy making whale noises the entire time that I did it. So, and I feel like I should share more stuff like that with you guys. I just honestly, like, I forget that it happens, because you know, the guy himself was not an attractive man at all by any means. So the fact that he was doing that was just like mind-blowing. And it's just one of those things where I just wake up every day and do what I love and be the best that I can be, and I work out when I can, and I just, you know, and I mainly work out just because it makes me feel great, and it makes me feel positive when I look in the mirror, and I think a lot of that's because of endorphins. But you know, I definitely like have not really lost weight from working out, and I definitely gained weight, I think muscle weight. Who knows, it could not be from that, but we're gonna go with it. And I don't know, I guess a lot of the body positivity stuff comes from, you know, just you're born with yourself and you die with yourself, and that's all you have until the end, and you can't take anything with you, so you might as well really, really love yourself and not beat yourself up daily, and just accept who you are, because life is really painful, and it takes out so much joy if you don't just make up your mind to treat it with love and respect. And I think that that has just been something that I really have taken into heart. And obviously there's a ton, sorry, there's so much honking going on outside, but obviously there's a ton of, you know, people that have just changed the game, and there are people on Instagram who promote body positivity regularly, and I have to say those people also inspire me daily to continually love myself and continually feel okay if I, you know, got my double chin going and my pooch hanging, and you know what I mean, just all these things that, you know, we're all human and we all have days where we feel less than perfect, and you know, it's crazy to me because I'm sure Beyonce has those days, and she's Beyonce, like she shouldn't have those days, but she's a person at the end of the day, so everybody has them. Number 7, to finish 6, I would love to do a whole entire video about that and just kind of talk a little bit more, because I think it's something that a lot of people struggle with, and I would love to kind of like tack on to that, and you know, it would be a whole thing, but I will do it soon. 7, how do you edit your pics? Okay, so this is another one that is a really, really, really long answer. And to cut, I'm gonna make a video about this very soon, but to cut this short, what I'm gonna say is, I'm gonna tell you the apps that I use. First, when I first take the photo, I take a lot of my photos on Instagram. Most of the photos I take on my iPhone, not on my Instagram, and you know, even if I take something on my camera, this is still the process that I normally use. I'll do a little bit of tinkering in Photoshop, but then I'll take it into my phone. But I use a Canon 5D Mark III for, that was one question that didn't make it onto the top 10 because we did them in order. But yeah, so the apps that I use, first I take it into Afterlight and I do like a bunch of stuff with it there. And then I normally go into Visco. and I'll do some stuff with it there, just like filters and like lighting and that kind of stuff. And then if I want to change some of the colors and make them brighter or less bright or things like that, I'll use a selective tool on Snapseed. This all sounds like, I'm sure to someone who does not use these apps all the time, a bunch of mumbo jumbo. So I promise I'm gonna make a video about it. Then I'll go in a darkroom, and let's say my shirt was maroon and I wanted to be bright red, you could totally do that in darkroom. It's a great app. And then sometimes I'll go into Facetune to just detail different things like my glasses, or if I wanted you to really see my makeup, that kind of thing. And then I'm normally done, and I put it on Instagram. 8, I want to know more about Monty. I have been wanting to adopt a bunny, so I'm wondering, how do you deal with bunny care in an apartment, like stairs, poops, etc.? So we had Monty in our older apartment that was a lot smaller than this one, but so how do I deal with bunny care in an apartment? So Monty, that's a big part of why he doesn't, like, he's down here in our bedroom on top of having Duke, is because so there's like a baby gate in between our room, which is a big room. I don't want anybody to think Monty's in like a tiny room. He's not. So there's like a baby gate so that he can still like feel like, I don't know, we can still like see him and interact with him, and he's still part of everything. But one of our big worries was having him try to like walk or bounce up the stairs, or if he was upstairs trying to bounce down. So that's a big part of why he's in that room. It was something that really stressed us out because our stairs are very open, and he would totally, I don't even want to think about it. But Monty is litter trained. A big part of that is because he is fixed. He was fixed when we adopted him, and he was already litter trained when we adopted him. So it was something that was super easy transition, and he, throughout moving, because we've lived in 3 different places with him, has been pretty easy too. But yeah, I feel like, you know, I do not believe in having your bunny in a cage unless it's like one of those things where while you're sleeping or something like that. I don't know. For the most part, he has like free range, and that is something that I personally just believe in giving him. I feel like I should talk a little bit more about Monty and taking care of him. I'm trying to think of like other things, facts to share with you guys. Certain things that just come naturally to me. I can't think of like special things to say because like most people don't know, but carrots have a lot of sugar, so you should only give them half a carrot a day, not like a whole carrot, and that should be a treat. They shouldn't just like eat a bunch of carrots. They eat mainly greens, like romaine, arugula, kale, you know, that kind of thing, like dark leafy greens. And Monty eats twice a day. He always has water, pellets, a ton of hay. That's a big thing to know if you want to adopt a bunny. Hay will be everywhere at all times. Like literally in our room, it's like a, you know, me and my friends have always joked that it's kind of like a barn. And now it's luckily a lot better, but he's still like, he likes to string hay around. He's an animal, so he wants to do that. Number 9. What is my favorite part of being engaged? I told Jess before we took this video that it was because it makes it harder to break up. But seriously, you know, Danny and I have been together like 5 years. I feel like it's actually about to be 5 years exactly. And I feel like being engaged doesn't necessarily feel that different. It's more like this coming into this realization that all these promises that you made for so long are like true, and feeling close to each other in that way, and that you're both like, it's funny because for so long we were like, we're not the people that would get excited about getting married and blah blah blah, and we're totally excited. We were just telling our friends the other day. And it's just like weird because for so long I was the girl who wanted to go to the courthouse and just get married, and that still might happen. But it's weird to be like excited about a wedding now. But I am, and Danny is too. And in conclusion, the best part of being engaged is that it's harder to break up. And last but not least is the tail-old question that I already answered actually, sorry guys, is what kind of camera do I use? I use and I said it before, I'm just repeating myself a bunch, is the Canon 5D Mark II. It is a great, incredible camera. It is incredible for low lighting, and again, I really don't use my DSLR camera for that many photos. I mainly use my iPhone 7 Plus, but I'm literally staring at it right now, so it feels weird to be talking about my camera so lovingly as I stare into its literal lens. But I have been so impressed by this camera. Before I had the Mark II and it was great, but not nearly as insane as this camera. I went into B&H and took like 2 photos with this camera in the store, and the quality, even though it was so dark and had like, it was insane. I was just like, I gave it back to the guy and I was like, oh well, I'm getting this for sure right now. So you know, that was, you know, one of my highly asked questions. But I just want a lot of you guys to know that I really do take like 75% of my photos with my iPhone 7 Plus at this moment. So could change, but at the moment that is what I do. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you learned some new things about me, and let me know some questions below that you would like me to answer in the future, or just things that you want to see me make videos about. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed these random facts.